Yo, and Ski's opinion. We back. I ask you guys to like, subscribe, follow, hit that bell for notifications so you can get next interviews with your gracious and humble host, Ski. I like doing that. But anyway, it's a little bit different. So I'm trying something with this. If I can get some comments in the comment section on this video, let me know if you like me focusing on one specific subject, or would you like for me to do in Ski's opinion the way I've been doing it, as far as touching on a lot of different subjects all at once, or do you guys prefer short, quick, concise videos on specific subjects and breaking that down, going throughout the interview? So I'm not gonna hold too long on what I'm talking about, but I'll let you guys be the judge on this video. So this video is titled Ansky's Opinion: Celebrities with Mental Health Issues. Right? Just wanted to touch on this because it was a thought that I had about this mental health situation. And that is that I find it kind of funny that, a lot of these celebrities were able to either mask it very well, or they had some handlers before that put them in a spot to where they can maintain and do what they need to do as far as as far as how they ran their day to day, because you didn't see it before, right? So first, celebrity I'm going to speak on. I think everybody, probably have the same questions about Kanye. Like I said, I encourage, anybody who's watching these videos or this video to comment. Let's start a conversation. Let's start a dialogue. I'm looking at the comments. I'm answering every one of them. Any questions that you guys have, shoot them in there. Let's grow together and gain a rapport to where when I do these shows, it's more like a conversation with you guys, and I'm taking seriously you guys' input on what I should and shouldn't probably be speaking on, so just making it a little bit more engaging. That's what I would say I'm trying to focus on. But like I said, back to the story, to the show. Kanye will be one that everybody will say, oh yeah, Kanye, and I got a couple of names over here that I just pinpointed out. So we say Kanye, and the behind that I put a check for bipolar, right? So the reason why I say it's kind of funny to me, like how we didn't see any of this before, and not to say that it's not that happening, like that the person is really this. I mean, because when you see the actions and the things that's being done through some of these people that I'm going to mention on this platform, giving my opinion on you guys, it's just it's differences in what I'm saying. Like, so Kanye, was Kanye. People try to pinpoint his downfall or downward spiral, attribute to when him losing his mom. I wouldn't say that, to be just a matter of fact, because he maintained for years after his mother died, even before he married Kim, like he made more hit records, became bigger, even as a star, and his genius, grew even brighter. So if a person would say like, well, maybe his mom was able to balance him, and she would be able to handle. So who was doing it when she passed away? Because he wasn't like this. So I'm just asking the question. With all these celebrities, with the mental illness or mental health thing that's being pushed right now, it's I would say it's an agenda, but it's something that needs to be looked at because um, I, I don't want for us as a society, I would say, to just say everything is mental illness and slap a label on it. I think that's a lot of what's wrong with us in this country, especially. You know what I'm saying? But in the world, that we put so many labels on things and people, and which skews your thought process or how you look at that person or how you even treat them, or your approach to how you even deal with. So I touch on that, to say, and then Kanye spirals or whatever. It's a breakdown, a breakthrough. I know mental illness can come on at different times, but if he been that, and even if it was misdiagnosed or not diagnosed, that he been that. But what you guys have seen any signs of it before? Like why all of a sudden it's so oblivious now, and then like with even the things he be saying out of his mouth that he can't really believe himself, but maybe he do, but he really can't, and I was shocked by it from, like secret tapes and uh, leak tapes, that came out when you hearing him saying certain antics that he's using or he's gonna use to, um, I guess bring exposure to himself, So my question with that is like, um, are they putting this label on him for a factual thing like this? Is something maybe something there, or is this being enhanced? Is this being exposed or exploited under a bigger microscope right now to magnify to take away um, something else that's more valuable that we don't see, like that's up for grabs right now with this person, which even might have this person even acting out in a way that makes him seem, what they say. But I'm gonna go on to the next one. I would say Jada Smith, and I put a check behind him with the words depression and personality disorder. These are not factual diagnoses. Like I'm not diagnosing them. These are things that I'm picking up from just what I'm observing and from my opinion of what I see from me looking at people with signs of these things. But Jada Smith, if you look at this kid, it's transformation. We done watched it, watched it grow and manifest from years, from childhood on to where he's at now, So he's changed the way he looks so many times. To me, like I said, and this is just my opinion, it's not to be taken as factual, but in my eyes, this is what I see. With as much as he's doing to recreate himself and keep changing himself, is something that he doesn't like. And it kind of put me in the mind frame of like a Michael Jackson, how Michael Jackson kept cutting on his nose because he wanted to get his nose the right way, but he hated that part of himself. And he hated that he had that nose like his father, so it became an obsession, and he probably done too much to the point to where he had to wear those mask because his nose was collapsing. You know, he done so much damage to it, or he had one nose job that didn't go right. I don't know, whatever. But what I'm saying is, if you see, he put Cliff in his chin. So Mike was doing stuff to himself to change his appearance, and I think that it was a self-hate there, and the hate that I think he was manifesting was his father. That's my opinion. Jaden, I think it may be the same thing as far as with Will Smith. I think what he's trying to change, and he keep trying to cut away and get and take away from, is the hate that he has for his father, that he sees in himself that comes from his father. For whatever reason, it's a problem there between father and son. To me, you know, like over the years, it's been more and more of a distance between these two. You know, they was doing movies and everything together. You know, like he was setting the kid up, you know, to be great, you know, as far as with the movie thing, you know. But he also was talented, even I would say with music. You know, he had an album that I actually kind of liked a few songs on it, you know. And I think he got some talent there, musically. When he was younger, he was terrible, but when he got older, he he got a lot better. Um, but that's what I see there. So depression and personality disorder, like don't know who they want to be, um, trying to run away from something. Uh, Mariah Carey said bipolar, right? So that's why I said I go back into um, to how was these people able to hide this for so long? You know, like was there handlers or something like that was controlling the situation to keep it where it didn't get out like that? Um, so, but all of this mental illness thing, that's what I'm saying. Like, so when you do that, like, or um, with Mariah Carey's case, I'll say, and then like now, like she had the episode one time when she came on, I think the MTV show, with the booty shorts on, and was acting really weird up there, like loopy. Um, and then she got put in the hospital, I think, for a couple of days, or something happened with that. I don't want to quote me on that exactly, but something happened where she got some help, and then she's okay. You never hear nothing else about. I mean, they say she's bipolar. She's been diagnosed with it, but you don't see any episodes or nothing like that with her. But what was going on at that time, and this is what I'm trying to get to with this. Well, like I said, I don't want to go into the conspiracy thing, but okay with Mariah. But then now, miraculously, she's, not having any episodes. She's not, but she's bipolar. It's like Kanye is like, other people who's bipolar, right? But she's just fine. And you don't see anybody around her controlling her or have to control her. Or if it is somebody, you don't see them. They hear it very well, but you think about that. Okay, so then you look at Britney Spears, bipolar, she's a friend, I don't know, I don't want to say, but bipolar, is what I'm getting. Her situation, did they not see it before? That's what I'm saying. This kid, they grew up, is it bipolar, or is it a kid who's been deprived of being who they want to be as a kid because they had to be the be all and end all for their family, that they never got a chance to live their life, and it inspired them to a point to where you probably misdiagnosed this girl, and then you put her in this conservatorship under her father's tutelage, and she stayed controlled, you know, and everybody with the free Britney thing, and that she come out of it, and then they like, well, damn, you know, she's something is wrong there. So I mean, something is off. But what I'm saying is, how was they able to mask it? You know, and like I said, mental illness can come on at any time in your life. So maybe it wasn't that. Maybe it was laying dormant inside. You know, so I'm giving that. That's what I said. I'm not. Um, I'm trying to be as close to politically correct that I can be, you know, with what I'm talking about, because, and I'm not diagnosing anybody, you know, I'm just uh, voicing what I see, what's my opinion on these situations, and I'm going to give y'all the reasons why I'm doing this at the end of the last I want to say, I'm going to say the last, but uh, the reason why I even brought this up was because of this person, and I've been saying a lot with, you know, talking about, you know, his mental health, because he just came out with a book, him and his wife doing interviews, which is Gucci Man. I'm gonna say it now because kind of giving away who it is, but this is what made me even look into, you know, like the celebrity with mental illness thing, um, mainly, like I would say, from a hip hop and R&B like type, you know, a musical type side of the industry. I can expound on this segment if you guys want, and I can use other stars with mental illness, uh, drug abuse, rise and falls. Y'all can shoot it in the comments. Let me know what y'all want to hear from me, what my perspective is on that. Um, but I'm gonna say Gucci Man. So he has been a lot open lately about what's been going on with him, but it's been um, having the internet a buzz right now with the interviews that him and his wife been doing. They're talking about how they've been maintaining his episodes and the things that because he's bipolar, schizophrenic, whatever, and how she's helped him. But then everybody's spinning it to like where she's really his handler. If you listen to how they explain what's going on, which it can give you that feel, but I don't know. I mean, is it this wife that's living with a person who's mentally ill and being protective and getting on top of what they need to make sure the person get what they need when they're having an episode, and it doesn't affect everything else. Now, could that be looked at as wrong or right? I mean, I guess depending on how you look at it and where you're looking at it, where you stand on it, you know? You get what I'm saying? Um, is she being controlling, too controlling, or is she being protective, right? Because that could be misconstrued. But what I will say is that without them saying what they're saying right now, she's been handling it very well. So that's what I asked the question about. Like when I get into all the rest of them, like who was handling them before when no one knew that this was going on, and then you see now with all this going on, and then now they have these diagnoses of they're this or they're that. And like I said, him coming out, we I think heard before I've have about Gucci being bipolar or something like that. Once before when he went to jail some years back, they spoke on that. But for most of them, you don't hear or you haven't heard anything about like these mental illnesses, but they're just springing up, right? So, like I said, I'll get back into it. I go into the Gucci because of this is the talk, and this is what made me just look into it. And I was all these um, all of these celebrities have something in common, and they're this last celebrity that I'm talking about, we're tied all together. So I put Nicki Minaj down here, not putting her as someone who has mental illness. I would say that I don't know what it is. Some people saying uh, drug addiction or whatever. I wouldn't know nothing about that as well. Like I can't really read into that as well because I don't pay that much attention to Nicki outside of what's in the headlines or come across my screen, when I am looking. Um, just the viral thing. So, but it's a big thing with her and Rock Nation and Nicki's been lashing out, right? And she's always spoken her mind like this, but for some reason, it's like everybody screaming, hashtag help Nicki and, listen to Kenny Patty need to do what uh, Keisha K. doing for Gucci Man for her, like as if she's bipolar or something, or she's been diagnosed with this, and people putting that on that, like with their opinion on what they're saying. But I don't see that. But what I'm saying is, with that, and how I said it this time, and then, and behind Nicki's name, I said to be determined, right? Now, the reason why I said to be determined is because I think that people are labeling these people, some of them, or even using their mental illness to slap a label on them or a tag on them when it's deemed convenient for them in order to control these people. I hate to sound like a conspiracy theorist, but it's not the conspiracy theory about what I'm saying right now. If y'all pay attention to what's going on, all these people at a certain point in time has gotten was too outspoken, was getting too much independence and gaining too much notoriety and power to where they had to be reeled in. I think when you start with Kanye being the first black multi-billionaire, I guess you could say, coming from hip hop and all of that power that over exudes where, and then just exhaustion. A lot of stuff comes from exhaustion, but exhaustion, sleep deprivation could look like insanity. You could look like you bipolar. You could look you be out of your mind because your oxygen is not working right or functioning right going through your brain. So that's why I said with the misdiagnosis. But I don't even think that they misdiagnosed on purpose. I mean on accident, but on purpose, right? In order to hold these people accountable for something. So I go after Jay Smith. I think it was a control situation thing with his parents. Where he broke away and he's spiraling to where he's at, but it's making it like now depression and personality disorder and this and that. This is what you read from this kid who I think been tormented by something else that got him hurt and confused about who he is. Mariah Carey, like I said, the flip out and then bounce back. I'm not saying that she's not bipolar, but what I'm saying is you haven't saw any other episodes since then. You haven't seen any episodes before then. How she had an episode? Did she have an episode because she was overworked? Was she sleep deprived? And then now she have no more bipolar late tape situations, or you never heard nothing else about Mariah, right? Well, do she got to handle it, that wrangle her in? Did they do what they needed to do to her to get her to do what they wanted them to do, wanted her to do, right? To where you don't see nothing else but they put the diagnosis out there on it so they can always have something to control, right? She was the biggest pop star on the planet, was surpassing everybody, Elvis, the Beatles, all of them, right? Most powerful and biggest catalog, at what Tommy Mottola or the Sony or whatever, but whatever. Britney Spears, with that situation, I think that it seemed like somebody was holding control all along with that. The way that she is now or what she's displaying now is spiral, maybe just a tormented soul. from all the things that's been happening to him, or maybe it's been hidden for so long and managed so well, and then now she's free enough to do, and she disturbed. But you didn't hear nothing about the bipolar or nothing like that until she wanted freedom, right? And then the father put the conservatorship on it. So it's all something behind that. Now, the Gucci Man situation, him going to jail, this and that, back and forth, um, and then him being diagnosed with that at that time, but he was huge. If he was able to leave this woman $2 million, the kid owned all his own stuff. He was pretty much independent. Dad set him up pretty tight, right? But they needed to own something. When he signed that deal with Atlantic or whatever, Atlantic, I'm gonna say, is where something tricky come up in here. Now this man is super dead, and now he in jail. He had the Lemonade remix song and all that, but you needed to reel him in, right? Because he had all this power. And then he had all of these artists. Young Thug, the Migos, he had all the people who became the biggest people ever, and then y'all gonna make him crazy. And then now we got a handler up under him, right? And it's just ridiculous. Like the thing that's going on with that. So I bring this down to Nicki to say, with her is now she's going against a conglomerate about something. She's speaking on something. And they're out to make her be the next crazy or the next unhinged celebrity out here who's running off things that they understand because she's going against an entity that's too big to fail. So I'm gonna say I'm kind of worried about the sister because, like I said, she's going against the entity that's too big to fail. It's too much money. It's billions of dollars invested in that situation. They're not gonna let you tear that down, but they will tear you down, and they will spend good money to do it. So I'm gonna say I don't know. I understand where you at with it, but I don't know how you can do it in another way. I don't have that information for you. I wish I did, but I do have this bit of information that I could give you as far as what I can see. And that's just my opinion on looking at the situation. Figure out another type of way to do it. Because this way, being loud and out and obnoxious, like, and then they making you out to be, paint the picture on you on what they want you to be, right? And you just accepting it. I mean, you just playing into it, not to say accepting it, but you just playing into it by acting out, on social media, and how they use these videos and everything and twist words and switch things. They can make you look drunk and high and all messed up and or does she have some type of mental like what's his name need to do what Keisha K.O.'s doing for Gucci, which that's why I understand why you would go at her, right? Because now y'all insinuating they trying to put this there. That's why I said to be determined with Nicki. So my whole point for making this is to say, Nick, sit back, regroup, reroute your energy to get the best outcome that you're trying to get for whatever it is that's going on with that, right? But if you don't be careful and if you don't stop the actions that you're doing now, they're gonna figure out a way to make you the next celebrity with mental illness. You will be the next case. This has been another Inskee's Opinion. I'm gonna ask all you guys to like, subscribe, follow that bell for notification so you can understand when the next video is coming and you can come through here and get some of this knowledge. Baby, I'm out. Inskee's Opinion.